is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake,
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic, yeah, with Jake and Tyler. And it's almost like the Charmin commercials where they put like clay on their hands and then like on both hands, and then like the Cottonelle wipes away all the clay, but the other toilet paper just kind of streaks the clay, and you're like, I know that you're trying to say that that's shit.
Oh, jeez.
And that bent
Okay,
carrot is a
all right.
penis.
All right, this is Off Panel, Off Topic After Dark, episode 115, a bonus episode. That's
I'm
right.
Tyler.
That's Tyler. I'm Jake.
Well, it's not my
People know
fault
by
that
now.
it's not my fault that you play the theme song right in the middle of us having a conversation, and I have to finish my thought.
I guess.
I have to.
I guess. But this is going to be a special episode. No news, just two topics we wanted to talk about. Just because we've kind of had this mentality, if we can ever get an extra episode in because of our schedules, if we ever have a chance to get an episode in, we have something we want to talk about, we can try and wiggle these in here. So
Also, it's better for you,
for me, yes.
the listener.
Oh. Well, me too.
I was looking at you, I suppose.
Well, that's what I thought.
You're like, me?
Hey, me.
Hi.
Right. So the two things we're talking about today are going to be
Three, kind of.
three, yeah, partially.
But mostly two, and then
Yeah.
three.
Well,
a teaser for
We're
a
bringing back
third.
an old segment because
Or one of our favorites.
a few weeks ago we watched RoboCop 2, so now we're going to try and work our ways to RoboCop 3. And I'll tell you what, Tyler, I think I want to ask if you're okay
You
with
deserve
this.
a medal for what?
Before we play the bumper, I have resisted watching this movie, but I am willing to watch the RoboCop reboot. 'Cause
Okay,
I
I've
think
seen
it's
it.
on Amazon Prime.
I've seen it.
I have not.
Okay. It's not bad.
I've heard it would. It's a movie that would have benefited if it wasn't RoboCop.
Yes.
Like it should have just been its own thing. It
Yeah.
should have like the
I go with that.
tying it to RoboCop and the OCP stuff is what brought the movie down. And I'm sure that's the point is, I think after watching this, that reboot is going to be a million times better.
It's got to be, right?
Because this was hot garbage. You know what, Tyler? Let's get to it.
Here's a random wood block for no reason. Dude, I just want to get down at that. I want to get down with that at a discotheque
Yeah.
in Berlin.
So we are talking RoboCop.
Did I ever tell you about my dancing
3.
at a discotheque in München? It's called Kennedy's. Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
So JFK is a huge.
President.
He's a huge figure in Germany
Yeah.
because he said the Ich bin ein Berliner speech at the wall back when the Berlin Wall was erected. But there's this huge.
I need to turn the board.
Yeah, you gotta turn it up. There's a huge picture of JFK on the wall, and I'm trying to dance with these European, teenage girls like my age, because I'm 18. And it's really weird to me because I'm trying to get it on in front of a picture of JFK. Not get it on,
Sloppy.
Yep. Yep. You know what I was hoping that one of those ladies would say after a night of dancing that they would like to
Having sex with you.
yeah with me.
We'll be
Having sex with you.
All right.
all right. Want to turn that shit up?
I used to have a drink token from it. It was just
Damn it! I hit the long one.
It's okay because you know what? We should be thinking of the comedy. That wasn't funny. What are we talking about?
Thanks, heel versus fuckface.
Thanks for bringing us back to the topic.
Talk about RoboCop Trace, RoboCop 3,
my fucking
from
God.
1993.
Ah!
So I had seen this in bits and pieces as a kid. I don't remember any of it. So it was pretty much like both of us were watching this for the first time.
Yeah, I will say this. When we first started doing RoboCopalooza, just for shits and gigs, I've gone to Wikipedia and read the plot synopsis of movies that I haven't seen or maybe will never see. And RoboCop 3 was one of them. So I kind of knew sort of the convoluted... the plot is just so fucking convoluted. But please continue. So I've kind of... You've seen it in bits and pieces, and I kind of sort of had read the plot at one point, but I didn't remember it.
Yeah, so basically, what kills me about this movie is we spend 15, maybe?
20, almost 20 minutes.
Almost 20 minutes of not seeing RoboCop in RoboCop 3. And when they do the reveal of RoboCop, it's almost like they're revealing the character for the first time.
Yes.
RoboCop
They
2,
can't see who's in the cop
a
car.
great example of why RoboCop 2 is better than I remember is it knows that it's a sequel to RoboCop, so we get to RoboCop in the first scene.
Yes.
It's we don't spend all this 20 minutes of like fucking world building.
There was
with no explanation of time.
There were two,
from the second to third
There
movie.
were 2 or 3 moments during that first 15 to 20 minutes that either Jake or I said something like,
"Where's RoboCop?
Gosh, I think he's going to be in the next sequence."
He should be here or here.
When he was chasing the little girl Nico, I think, when the cop was chasing the urban rehab guy whatever. We're like, gee, I wonder if he's... No, it's the terrorist, and she rescues her. And where the fuck is RoboCop? We see fucking Nancy Allen before.
We see Lewis before we see Murphy. Like, what are we doing? Where's RoboCop in RoboCop 3?
And don't forget about how she refers to him as Murphy the entire time until like an hour into the movie, and she goes, "Right, Robo?" And he goes, "Call me Murphy."
Yeah.
Who wrote this? Frank, you dick.
Yeah.
Frank Miller wrote this. Shouldn't be writing movies, dude.
He worked on the second one and the third one.
God, you suck.
But
I would have done it too, though.
This movie... But that's some of the things that's so weird about it. We take such a leap from the second movie to the third movie, and we don't really have a description of how much time has passed between those two movies.
No.
We don't know why RoboCop isn't just there from scene one, because he should have been.
Right.
Because he just disappeared. It's weird because you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises, where how Christopher Nolan, a smart filmmaker, understood how to build up and build that emotional feeling you got when you first saw his Batman, right? And he did that through building towards, it's an old, beaten down Bruce who, like, that last movie really changed him. And time told 8 years since that second movie. Like, there's actually a build to his return, and it's done well. And this does a build to his return, but it doesn't make sense because you don't know why.
We don't know if this is a day after RoboCop 2 ended.
Nowhere in that
we don't
ending
know.
Of the second movie, there's nothing there to make you think like, oh, this really changed Murphy because he kills Kane, and that's it, pretty much. And we just go on like, oh, RoboCop's just a thing.
Can we before we move on, let's talk about the unenviable task that Robert Burke. I believe his name is Robert John Burke, professionally now. He's been in a ton of stuff, and he's a really great actor. I like him a lot, actually.
Yeah, scary looking face.
I like him a lot. Most of the stuff I've seen him in, he does a really good job. But this is an unenviable task by a young actor who's trying to get his big break. And honestly, RoboCop 3 comes along, and he gets the part. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do, man?
Now, I got to say this. As far as, like, I know that for a fact, because we've talked about it and researched it so much, that Peter Weller did, like, mime classes and things like that to inform his movements as RoboCop, and he's second to none. Nobody can be RoboCop like Peter Weller, physically, right?
I talked about it. I said
We've talked about
RoboCop
it very
2. You can't make a RoboCop without Peter Weller.
Well, they did and let's at least give credit where credit is due for a really shitty movie with a lot of pressure on an actor just kind of trying to start off. He did okay. He got some of the movements down, like the head movements and things. So he did okay. No, again, you can't be Peter Weller, dude. You can't. But for having the shitty job that he kind of had, coming on to the third movie.
You know what this reminds me?
Did he not do okay?
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, this movie's just so bad.
It's so hot garbage, dude.
But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time. That movie is cheaply made, and you can tell it's cheaply made. Just like this movie, you could tell had a small budget. This movie was made for $22 million.
Most of that money went to the computer animations, which were fucking terrible for that time. What was it, 93?
Yeah. So it was originally, I think it was finished in 92, and it was on the shelf until 93.
Can we start talking about how the beginning of the movie, the bad CGI and then the family?
There's like a CGI virtual tour of Delta City. And it's terrible CG. And the kid is clearly in front of a green screen.
When the bomb goes off at the end with the two cyborg dudes, it's the same tower.
Android samurai.
Which is supposed to be real, but it's not. It's still the CGI shit that they used in the beginning
That's
of the movie.
what I mean. You can tell this was made on a tiny budget because it looks like shit.
Quickly, almost. You can tell it was made quickly, too, right?
Yes.
Just get this fucking sequel out.
Because I think 2 came out in 1990.
Yeah, 3 years.
And this went into pre-production in February of 91.
Bad idea.
Quick turnaround. And
that's probably why Weller was like, no, you fucking dicks.
Yeah, and the script is stupid.
It's so stupid.
But yeah.
What else do we want to say shitty about this movie?
Well,
Stephen Root's in it, dude.
What kills me about it is it's almost like a parody of itself.
Yes.
It feels like a parody of RoboCop.
It's trying to be meta. It's trying to be almost too meta about RoboCop to the point where it satirizes RoboCop.
Because where do you...
In his own fucking movie.
Which, I say what you will, again, about RoboCop 2.
There's a line, and they crossed it.
But no, there is a fine line in those first 2 RoboCop movies where you want to take the character as a serious, intimidating hero, but at the same time, he's a vulnerable character. There's layers to it. There's a little bit of seriousness to it. There's still the ridiculous commercials and the satire and all that stuff. And those first 2 movies work because they understand the blending of the tone. They understand that that's what you have to do to make this character work. And this movie just goes full-blown parody. Like, it's insane.
Here's the moment exactly. Okay, so at one point, I literally tell Jake, like, if you don't fucking start fast-forwarding this, I can't do it.
It's so bad.
Within, like, I think 45 minutes, it's like, I have to... Okay, we'll watch the end of the movie, right? So
this movie is unbearably long.
Yes.
Why is this movie 2 hours?
So we keep fast-forwarding, but we keep getting commercials, right? So at certain points, we're watching it on Pluto TV, and we can't fast-forward through commercials. So occasionally, as we're fast-forwarding, it will just stop, and we'll see a bit of the movie, and we can't help ourselves, right? And there's this part... where RoboCop...
Oh, well, sorry. This movie's an hour 45, so
it was an hour 59 with all the commercials.
Yeah.
57, whatever.
Probably could have watched it on Prime, but...
Yeah, way to go, Dick.
I think you can only find it on Pluto, to be honest. Anyway. I'm not...
So there's this bit where Dr. Lazarus finds RoboCop at the terrorist compound and rescues him.
By the way, here's the plot lines. We've got.
Do we have to?
We've got some. Yeah. We have a Japanese corporation taking over OCP, right?
Yep.
So because of that, we also have they're working on
a brute squad that's clearing out the fucking people.
Time out. That Japanese corporation also has android fucking samurais. Apparently. Then the company that's
which
working
we don't see
with
the second act.
The hit squad that's working with the Japanese company called the Rehab Crew.
But they're apparently under the thing of OCP. It's so unnecessary.
This is a movie about like fucking squatters' rights and eminent domain and fucking gentrification. The movie, this is the problem too. Those other 2 movies threaded the needle without saying things outright. They make this Rehab Crew fucking blatantly obvious that it's a Nazi squad. And at one point, a character calls them Nazis. It's like, we get it.
Also,
we get it.
You know, you're talking about threading the needle. At one point during the movie, they do somehow get Casey Wong back. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's like the media break guy, is what they keep calling him. And he goes, "This just in. RoboCop has now apparently joined the terrorist side." And it's like,
He's now a wanted criminal.
yeah, you don't
Armed
have
and
to
dangerous.
tell us that. No, so this is where the movie satirizes itself. It is
So
so.
keeps going too far for me.
So they rescue him. He's sitting in the chair. Nico is playing around, the little girl or whatever, and she goes and starts talking to him and stuff. And this is where he remembers that he had looked up her parents. Remember this part?
Yeah.
And he's petting her like a cat.
Oh my God! This kid. So this
has-
little girl Nico, throughout this whole movie.
Tell it, man. Finish the
Well,
telling about the scene, because you could tell it better, I think.
It's just okay. So he's like, this is after they take his memories away, right?
Yeah. So he's
at
regaining
one point we
them,
have
right?
remember, if you need a weird sarcastic sleazeball in this time period,
Bradley Whitford.
Bradley Whitford did it in
Billy
Billy
Madison.
Madison, did it in The West Wing. He was more likable on The West Wing, but did it on The West Wing. He's a sarcastic asshole, and he does it here. Which I will say, 1 point for this movie. I love how when he's around Rip Torn, who is just devouring scenery in this movie.
Right, he has to.
I love that when he's in his presence and he's getting yelled at, he's sheepish. But then when he's talking to this scientist,
Your
he is like,
legendary ass.
he
says,
horribly sexist.
he actually says to her "I want you and your legendary ass." And it's like, sweet. He likes to call her sweet cheeks.
So we follow this girl, Nico, because her family is, by the way, her dad comes into the room to talk to her because she can't sleep.
almost gets killed by
Her
a
dad.
fucking.
What was the tone? The tone was like he was gonna beat this kid if they didn't go to sleep. Right? He sounded like really weirdly aggressive. And so she's like, "What? I can't sleep. Is all what's happening true?" And he's like, "No, this is your home." And then a wrecking ball completely
Almost kills him. Almost kills him.
And then all this like bombs and shit and chaos because rehab is clearing out all these
Right,
residents
right.
because now OCP owns it, which actually I think was continuing the plot line from the last movie.
It's just so convoluted how we get to this point where he's talking to this girl, little girl, and he knows that her parents are dead, but she doesn't.
Right.
And he has to tell her somehow, but he does. Like,
by the way, we see the parents.
the memories.
That
yeah.
is the first thing we see in this movie. Nico is the first thing we see in this
Yes,
movie.
this
and
is the
her
first.
family.
The first sequence is about her
So
and her
now we know
family in
this
Detroit.
is how we find out they're dead, and we're like, oh wow,
Right.
And it's because he puts his little spike in the database and finds it out. So then it gets revealed, and we're sitting there, you and I are sitting there watching it, and it's like,
Oh wow.
oh God. So he has a moment where he's like, there's a pause. Your parents.
Do you remember them?
Do you remember them? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, I paused, and I just out loud go, well, they're fucking dead. Like, because that's what I was waiting for him to say.
and he says,
But no, he doesn't. He says, well, if you remember them, they're never really lost.
they're never really gone.
They're never really gone. And you and I both groaned because what is that doing in a RoboCop movie?
Well, okay.
What?
Again,
What are we doing?
In
and
the-
then he
in the-
takes his hand while she is laying on his lap,
steel fucking leg. Yeah, that's a great pillow for a kid.
and then puts his hand slowly down and then begins to pet her like an animal.
Which again, he did great with the movements, right? Dude, but
and then he tells her,
in the first two movies, in the first two movies, it is shown that Murphy is still a part of RoboCop enough to the
Yes.
point where he's compassionate. Murphy was a good dude, and he became a cop to protect the
he became a cop for the right reasons.
Right, exactly. Thank you. And this is a way for them to continue that, even though we already know this from two fucking movies already. Like, you don't need this moment in this movie. You don't. You don't need this character Nico.
No.
You do. There's so much
there's a-
extraneous bullshit in this movie.
There's a better,
And don't get us started on the jetpack.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, we will. We'll get there.
There's nothing wrong, and there's a way that you could do him building a relationship with this little girl.
Sure.
Without something like that. It's
As
just
tragic
a weird
as all
scene.
that. Let's write a story where this fictional girl gets her parents killed. Well, I know that. Sorry, Jesus.
Yeah.
I know that characters.
Now you're too quiet.
I know that characters in stories are not real. Okay, I'm aware of this. I also know that creators sometimes think that they're more real than whatever. I know this character in RoboCop 3 is not a real person, but if they were, you needlessly sacrificed her parents as a fucking plot point
To pet her like
to, you know what I
pet.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is that's fucking hacky fucking writing. That's shitty fucking writing. You wrote yourself into a corner. Did Eric July write this?
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
Sloppy. It was sloppy.
Nice.
Sloppy.
All right.
We just can't help talking about him. We love him.
Dude,
That's what he thinks.
Not this
he thinks
episode-
we keep talking about him because we love
come
him.
Tuesday, I got some juicy stuff to talk about.
You want me to come on Tuesday?
Come on Tuesday. What?
Sloppy.
Well,
Jesus.
I'm so sorry.
Sloppy.
Our producer's off this weekend.
Yeah.
The one who kicks our ass if we do shit like that.
Getting out. I don't even know what else to say. Oh, so
The jetpack.
the jetpack. We got to talk about the jetpack because what are we doing?
Wait, before we went on this little tangent, I'm sure we were talking about something, weren't we? Shit. No,
No,
jetpack.
we were finishing up this whole
Good.
Nico stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like explaining that there was a way to show him they did it in the first movies. They showed ways to give him emotion and give him humanity that made sense and worked. Is again, without this reassures me that the second movie isn't bad because this one is so fucking terrible.
Yes.
So
Ugh.
he
The
finally
second one looks like
he gets
fucking
into a fight.
Citizen Kane, dude.
Looks like a Mad Max 2. Like it was like a cyberpunk Mad Max that just threw up on the screen. And so like the resistance fighters are going to fight the OCP and then the rehab all
The splatter punks.
the splatter punks and the OCP are fighting. God damn it.
We're not going to
Splatter punks.
No, I don't
No,
wanna
no,
get
no.
it. Okay.
We're not going into it. It's just a
Good.
stupid fucking
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
So
and
any-
bad costuming and bad hair.
God.
We you know what?
No. Well, we got to get this done. We got to get this done.
Our budget for hair and makeup was fucking huge. Not so much for the CGI.
Couldn't hire good writers, but we got some really good fucking makeup.
We were grabbing people off the street. Can you do hair and makeup?
Oh,
good.
dude, can we briefly
Yes,
talk
anything you
about
want.
her Nico somehow knowing how to fucking
disable
Hack into-
Ed 209.
hack into an Ed 209 because she had a model of it and just hacked into it and made it loyal as a puppy.
If you want to talk about exposition being done well, okay? One of the things is when they showed her room and they showed the model being taken, the model that was taken apart of the Ed 209, and then they showed her like sleeping when her dad came in and almost get killed by the wrecking ball, which is the same scene, by the way.
Also,
here's
there's a
what we're gonna
crying
do.
baby in the other room who
Yeah,
gave
we
me.
never know about what happened.
Where's that baby?
Just dead,
Oh my
I guess.
Dude, I think they forgot that they put those baby
Maybe.
noises in. Oh, I go, fuck. I hope nobody notices that there was a baby in this.
Can we take out the baby noises at the beginning? No, it's not
It's too late.
possible.
The movie's out.
Well, we can't put any in at the end, so fuck it. Nobody will know.
Which makes it even weirder.
Well, only 12 people will watch this
Hey,
movie.
sorry your whole entire family died. Include your 6-month-old fucking... They didn't even think about that. They didn't think about it.
And why kill off her parents? Why can't you reunite? What's wrong with you?
Why not?
What is wrong with you, Frank Miller? You fucking dick.
You didn't kill him with the wrecking ball, then you're not... If this would have been the real... Also, we have to address this. It's PG-13. What
Oh,
the
God.
fuck? No. No.
Loyal as a puppy.
Fuck this.
Eat lead,
Fu-
suckers.
Man, I didn't want to hate this movie as much as I do, because
It's so fucking
because
bad.
I enjoyed the second movie so much, and I
Yes.
was hoping I could enjoy this one and find something. But it's just bad. So let's get to the jetpack. We got to get to the jetpack.
Yes, but before we move on,
No, we gotta
no,
go.
just real quick. No, we have time. I just
In
wanna,
hell we do.
I just want to say that I think we both came to this movie kind of like thinking it can't be that bad because
Right.
we had never really we
Seen
had
it.
never really seen it, either one of us.
I don't remember any of it.
Not really, no.
The only thing
maybe previews or whatever, but
I only remember the jetpack.
yes, but the sequence of the jetpack is so fucking bad.
So he fights the first android samurai.
No, can we talk about where they get the jetpack? Is when they raid the police army, or like in the
Yes.
beginning of the
Yeah.
movie, the armory, the police armory, and get that. What is it? I don't know. It looks expensive.
Yeah.
And then he sees it after the splatterpunks take away all the terrorists, and you see him looking off at it like, "Ooh, I'm gonna put it on."
Remember when he got set on fire for no reason?
And all of his organic material
just-
isn't just burnt to
Like
a
a
crisp.
cartoon had soot on his face. Oh my god.
And I know enough about movie stunts and being set on fire and shit to know that
Somebody was on fire.
that to set somebody on fire for like 10 seconds of film is incredibly intensive and extensive and expensive. Okay?
And you better make it important and worth
yes, you literally cannot set somebody on fire for more than 10 seconds, even with like full bodysuit.
Yeah.
And this guy did not have it. You know what I mean? He had his
Yeah.
face. God, are we into the jetpack yet?
Yeah, so
We keep finding
So-
stupid
yeah.
shit.
so he fights
Stupid.
he fights the first android samurai, blows its head off,
Yeah.
and then has to get down to the fight between the splatterpunks and the OCP and the rehab. So he's got to get into there and break it all up quickly.
He has to do it quick.
Looks over, sees.
In the foreground, you see this thing.
Wait a minute. This fight, we got before we even get to the jetpack. The fight right before the jetpack, where he fights that android samurai. I said, "Wait a minute," because this is egregious. It cuts his arm off. The samurai
Yes.
android cuts
Oh
its
my
arm
God.
off, and then
It's-
for flair, no other reason, just to be a dick, runs to the end of the room
Yeah.
and then starts to swing two samurai swords real fast at him. And in that time, comically, and I mean comically,
Like it's literally next to
there's
him.
a machine gun
hand.
arm that he's had throughout this whole movie.
He doesn't have to reach for it even. It's just
It's right next to him, and that android didn't think or see the gun right there.
Also, if he's that fast, he should have noticed that happening and moved out of the
That's
way
how he
before
kills him.
Yes.
So he puts down him, blows his head off. So then he finds the jetpack, and he flies that fucking jetpack to the
Holy
fight.
shit,
And it
does
is
he
the
ever.
ugliest, terrible.
I saw it. Okay, so at this point, I had a cigarette. I couldn't stand this movie anymore. I'm like, I'm having a cigarette. I don't care. But I knew the jetpack's coming up.
So
And
he
I'm-
watched it from the outside.
And it was so, like, I had no idea. Thank God for your brand new, like, huge TV. Because I did not know how obvious it was that he was, like,
Dude.
I thought he was just going to, like, come down, like, on like, wires.
Here's the insane
can't-
thing about it.
I didn't know he was going to shoot all over the
I think it-
fucking street
I-
and shit.
I think because we're getting such high quality picture with like 4K TVs nowadays, it upreses these movies with streams, and I think this higher resolution shows
How
the
bad
blemishes
this shit.
even
Oh
more.
my God, yes.
Because I swear, watching it on a more clear picture, you see how bad it looks. So you're like, oh my god.
When you see the original, like, unedited Star Wars on 4K, you can see, like, the shapes of the models trailing afterwards. You can on original, like, prints. But there's a division of Lucasfilm, Disney Plus, whatever, that is like, hey, as technology advances, our job is to make sure you still can't see those little... You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the way that they had to move shit around in any other iteration, you can't see that, you know, the little telltale signs.
Yeah.
Which is why Star Wars is so great.
So the big
Why
client.
RoboCop 3 sucks ass.
So he flies into the top of this tower.
which is also a bad sequence when he flies
that
through
has
the window.
has the Nazi rehab
Yeah.
leader, and
McDaggett, not a real
McDaggett.
name. Not a real name.
Nico and the scientists are all in the top of this tower that we talked about. That was at the beginning of the first movie. They have a fight.
Sort of.
So he lands, and the flying itself was so bad, and so cutting from the flying back to him is just unbelievably jarring.
Well, but on
And
the
him
one
crashing through the window
so bad.
was unbelievably bad. It was so slow.
It was like the glass broke before he hit it.
Yes,
That kind
almost.
of badness. Oh, the fucking pimp car. The pimp.
Oh my god, we almost forgot about that. So he has to chase this bus, and he lost his car. So he walks up, and there's this dude that's like this pimp talking to a prostitute.
Yes.
And he just like, I'm going to need to
Oh.
commandeer your vehicle. It takes this pink Cadillac knockoff pimp mobile, and he's going. It's like a video game. He's taking damage, and as he's chasing them, they keep blowing off parts of this car.
Like pieces. This
So
guy.
it's just a frame on wheels.
This guy is shooting a grenade launcher at this fucking Cadillac, and like first shot, the hood blows off. Second shot, the front of the front
Completely
of the
gone.
car falls
back
off.
is gone.
But dude, one shot from an actual grenade launcher, and this Cadillac is destroyed.
And this car
in real life.
This
God.
bus is barreling down towards
Oh.
these like kids playing hockey in the
Yes.
street.
Oh my
They
god.
get the kids out of the street, but as RoboCop's in pursuit, the bad guy McDaggett throws money out the back of
So
the car.
all the kids get
all
back
kids-
into the street.
all the poor kids jump. I'm like, Jesus, man. So he has to
Also,
like
by the
turn
way,
and
if you're
miss all the
playing,
kids.
if you're playing street hockey in the street and you got all that
Street
equipment,
hockey in the street.
if you're playing hockey in the street with rollerblades and shit, and you got all that equipment, those are not the poor kids.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the kids who are going to play lacrosse at
shit.
Duke. You know what I mean?
So the final fight, RoboCop just gets fucked up, and the only way that stops it is because Nico hacks into the system and makes the android samurais kill themselves.
We didn't even talk about
chop their heads
the
off.
face mask of the other.
Oh, he
android.
shoots one of them in the face.
just enough to break his face so that we can tell which one is different. Also, we can't tell.
It's a headpiece because
Yes.
his face never changes. So that happens.
They can't afford the camera work to make the same guy look
They
like
chop
one
each other's
guy.
heads off, and then McDaggett's like, "You idiots! There was a trigger tied to their life, so if they die, a bomb
Why?
goes off."
Why?
Don't know why.
You don't need that sequence. Listen.
So then he says, we're all dead," and RoboCop goes, "Not today, chum."
He
rolls over onto this
Perfectly.
jetpack, hops up, hovers this jetpack like 2 feet from the ground, scoops up the scientist, scoops up Nico, and flies out of the building. It
Super
explodes.
fast, and they don't all die.
What a movie. What a movie.
So I'm a shitty writer, and I can't figure out how to get all the good guys out of the top of that building.
Jetpack.
And I can't figure out how to get RoboCop to the fight in the first place.
Jetpack. Also, can we talk about the titles card for
Oh
this movie?
God.
3. RoboCop
3.
Just in case you forget.
You thought this was just 3? This movie was called 3? Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I did not expect it to be as bad as it was. It was bad. Brutal.
I expected some okay, this is not good, but not to this level. This was I honestly did feel bad for a lot of the actors, because a lot of the actors in it have gone on to pretty good careers. And you know that a lot of them are taking it, like Stephen Root especially. This is 93. His first like real recurring role was in news radio, and that started like 96. So, dude, this is when he's still trying to break out, you know?
Yeah.
And he's doing his best. But he's got some real shitty material to work with, man.
Hey, you know, I will say this about RoboCop 1 and 2. Neither of those movies had me really like in a moment where I'm like,
Oh, fuck you.
but this movie, multiple times, especially when he's talking about her parents to
Oh
Nico.
my God.
That whole scene, I'm like,
Oh, fuck you.
yeah. It.
So let's talk about some more shitty entertainment.
RoboCop 3.
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Gaina. Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
All right.
See, I thought "boo, fuck you" was gonna be the. Oh, that's for what's in my mouth. Gotcha.
Yeah. Don't forget, if you really like it,
I'll eat your ass.
got to get that in at least one episode. That has to be the most used drop. Easily.
It gotta be, or $1 million, bitch.
Oh, damn. I thought I had it.
$1 million, bitch.
Or what? What's got to be the top one?
What?
Yeah.
All right. Tyler, I fell down a rabbit hole. Because I recently found out.
You don't say.
Yeah. So I recently found out that Hulk Hogan got married. And normally,
For the third time.
I don't care.
Hey,
whatever.
family values, buddy. Family fucking shut up.
So
by
I
the
don't
way.
care. But that got a friend of mine, or we were in a group chat, and it's like, well, yeah, can you believe that Hulk Hogan's married again? He's 70, you know? Like that alone, I'm like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan's 70 years old. But in that moment, I was like, do you guys remember? And I want to bring this up to you, Tyler, because you don't really follow this stuff. A couple, like I want to say a couple, maybe back in August, he was getting. Hulk Hogan is currently selling a vape right now. That's like his big thing, and he was making the rounds. I think he's selling like CBD and like vapes and shit now. So he's been doing podcasts, and in a couple podcasts, he brings up this story. Because AEW, the like second biggest pro wrestling company right now, they had a huge event called All In, and it was like this big pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people. It's wild. So then the Hulk Hogan's like, yeah, well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to pull up a clip here, and here's the thing. This whole sequence that you're going to hear about, this whole rabbit hole I went down, is because this is an insane story. So this is from the Full Send podcast, sorry.
I was wrestling at Wembley Stadium. Make-A-Wish kid came to see me because at the time I was seeing more kids than Mickey Mouse or Mr. T. I was before John Cena came around. I was the guy. And, you know, I was seeing all these Make-A-Wish kids. The kid came back at Wembley and he was in bad shape, bro. He was on a vent. The medics were with him. He was freaking out. Hygienically, you could tell he wasn't really being taken care of correctly. But the parents were marking out. And the
Smells
parents were
like
coming
shit,
real
Hulk,
strong.
is that
I was
what you
trying to
were
take
saying?
care of the kid. And I kind of told the medics, guys, the kid's panicking, kind of like need to ease him out of here. So the kid left. I went out and wrestled, and I had a place for him and his parents. I wrestled in Wembley Stadium, 80,000 people. No kid. So I went back and I said, what happened to the family? The kid had passed away by the time I saw him and by the time I wrestled.
So
my
2
manager,
hours.
Jimmy Hart at the time, who was with the Gentrys, who was a musician, had a hit song, Keep On Dancing. It's the only #1 song.
Okay. So, some things to point out here. The last time WWE was in Wembley was SummerSlam 1992. Hulk Hogan was not on that card.
Nope.
Jimmy Hart was not his manager until 1993 was in WCW.
Right.
They had an event there in the UK. I don't remember if they did have a show at Wembley Stadium or something like that, but he wasn't even there for that either. So this kid doesn't exist. This story isn't real.
You want to know how I know this even before you told me
I
all
think
that?
what you know, I think you're gonna tell me something that I'm. Go on.
I think you're
we're
on the
all
right
along
track.
The same line, yeah.
I don't know a lot of kids with debilitating, like, hey, you're not supposed to live past 6 diseases like that. But one thing I can tell you almost for sure is that no terminally ill kid is going to be fucking quote unquote freaking out.
Yeah.
Especially about going to see a wrestling thing.
So,
motherfucker, do you know how fucking hard that kid's life has been so far?
You use a different angle.
So right away, I know that you're lying.
So,
and I know Hulk Hogan's met with sick kids. How does he not know that?
I wasn't going to say that. What I was going to say was when someone lies a lot.
Yes.
They tend to give out unnecessary details to kind of make it seem real. Like, why did he have to mention the kid's hygiene?
Yeah, hygienically? What the fuck are you talking
He said
about?
something
Yeah.
similar to that in a separate
He was on
interview.
a vent. He's on
He's basically said it smelled like the kids. He didn't say this, but he made it seem like the kids smelled like shit, like really stunk.
So basically, he
He's
made
here's
up
what he
this
said.
kid
Here's
with
what he
shitty
said.
parents. Is
Here's
what he said.
said.
Okay.
He said, "Oh yeah." Well, I'm like, hold on. I want to be
I
clear.
know. You're about to reach across the table. and
Shut
choke me.
the fuck up.
Shut up! I'm trying to make my damn point.
So here's the thing, brother. Anyway, he said that the kid had a particular smell. He's like, it wasn't bad, like a bad smell, but it would have. I wasn't used to that certain smell.
What isn't hygienically clean?
He shit himself.
Yeah, just say it.
But anyway,
But he's trying to make the imaginary parents look bad. What?
I don't know why. But here's the thing. Here's what
Fuck
again.
off, dude. Yeah.
He made. I bring this up because we were talking about it in the chat, and then when I said that I sent that story like, oh, that was crazy, and like what a dick. Why would he lie about this? And then he goes, one of the people in the chat were like, well, what's the song? To see if there was actually the song. Hulk Hogan made an entire album
Oh God, yes.
called Hulk Rules. Right? We're not going to
He
go
doesn't
over
actually.
all that.
No,
But
thank
he
God.
literally has a song.
We're gonna go track by track this week.
Literally has every fucking.
You know what my answer to that is? I quit.
Yeah, what does it all mean? But he literally has a song called Hulkster in Heaven about this made up kid. And we have a clip of it. I'm not going to play the whole song.
Thank God to both of those things that you just said.
What a rabbit hole I
Thank
found
God
this
that
week.
that we have a clip, and thank God you're not playing the whole fucking thing because I've heard it,
It's bad.
and it is
You heard
almost as bad as trying to
Tyler.
watch 2 hours of RoboCop 3.
Tyler, you heard 2 minutes of a 4 almost 5 minute song.
You know what? 30 seconds was too long, dude.
Yeah, I cut it off. There's more to that because then he says, I wish Hulk's love could bring you back again. One more time. We're a fake kid.
No, that's not Hulk Hogan singing. I don't
That
give
is
a
him.
shit.
That is
no,
Terry
it's
Bollea.
not. That's a fucking professional singer pretending.
No, that's him. Do you also know that Hulk Hogan claims that Metallica wanted him to play bass for him at one point?
So play your next clip, I guess. I'm already sick of this asshole.
All right, let's wrap
When I
up.
was growing up, this guy was supposed to be a good guy, and he has turned out to
Hey.
be a shit.
Tyler, let's wrap up the episode with something fun.
Fun. Oh, holy shit, nice. I didn't know we had this.
I didn't.
Son of a bitch. Wow, we have a whole new segment.
Isn't that fun? It's a good song.
That was fun to play. You know, redoing that, I realized it had been a while since I played it. And I was like, what's the harmonies again? Like, what's the high part and what's the low part? I hadn't done it in so long.
It's a song called Alphabet Road on Tyler's album,
Arigato.
Amazing T-Bird. Spotify, wherever you get your music.
Mm.
Plug.
Plug.
You got plugged.
I got.
Tyler, you were on the road. So off panel, off road is what we use whenever we're taking the show with us. So
Which is just always.
always
I
in
take
our
my show
hearts.
with it.
Where'd you go today?
I went to the visitor. What is it called? The Van Meter Visitor Festival. It's every year. My brother and John Ira Thomas from Candlelight Press had both been there. This was their second year, but it was free. Like nobody stopped me on the way and like, hey, $5. You know, like nobody did. There were a lot of cryptid. It was really fun. But I just as a quick little tease for Tuesday, we're gonna have more of the actual interview I did with Carter and John on Tuesday this week. But just a quick little tease. I did make a quick little audio clip on the way into the Van Meter Festival, a Van Meter Visitor Festival in Van Meter, Iowa.
So I'm here in Van Meter, Iowa at the Van Meter Visitor Festival. Sorry. I think I stepped on a rock and just bit my lip. Okay. Visitor Festival, take two. Visitor Festival. And my brother is here, and he actually created a Van Meter Visitor thingy of sorts. And there's actually like tents out here, which is really cool. I'm hoping that there's people who just were like, fuck it, man, I'm camping out for the whole goddamn thing. There's a gigantic inflatable visitor. Van Meter visitors. Like
it was Mothman.
So that's cool. I'm gonna get a picture of that. Put it up on the website, all that crap. But it's gonna be a great time. And there's a person who has a bumper sticker. I break for cryptids. Awesome. All right. Well, this is Tyler, and I'll tell you all about the Visitor Festival when I get back. Bye.
Where the fuck is my jug and washboard? Jug band? You ever seen a jug band? You ever seen jug?
Did you say Jug Man?
Jug band. You never heard of a jug band? So that was Off Panel Off Road.
It's been another episode of the show. Goodbye.
Get the fuck out.
I don't want to hear you talking now.
I don't want to hear your fucking mouth.
Oh, better.
I know.
That's why you're the songwriter.
See, a songwriter right here. You know, that's why starting next Tuesday, I will be at the Holiday Inn in Las Cruces, New Mexico, every Tuesday until the end of the year, taking applications for songwriter intern. The lobby. I'm not creepy and like doing it like up in
your
my room. No,
Yeah,
no. I'm staying at the Las Cruces Holiday Inn, but no, you go to the desk and go, hey, I'm here for the internship, and I'll come down to you and meet you in a well-lit parking lot. So that's how you do internships.
I was just letting it go. I want to make it abundantly clear in the lobby, please.
Listen, if
In the lobby.
if you're seeking out internships from a crappy podcast, it's our job to make sure that you know all the things are going to be legal. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.